All right, so this is GAM415 Module 4, our first plugin. It's going to be a C++ basic code. We're just going to have maximum quality and no starter content. And this is the foo tutorial. For those of you that are wondering, we're just going to use the default name. We're going to start off by going into our plugin settings. We're going to go down and just create a new plugin. Right there to the lower right, it's going to be a blank project. We're just going to call it, foo. And just put your author information. Not that it matters. But, well, there it is. Our first plugin. Go ahead and create that. Give it a second here. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and reload all of these. We're going to close this one down. We're going to exit out of this. Let's see if we can get this set up a little bit. All right, so you can see I'm showing all the engine code. We'll change that, but let's go ahead and get the Explorer open because that's what I needed here. That didn't work, so let's do it this way. You can't see it, but it is on the other screen. So now let's just go ahead and remove all the engine content, make it a little bit more user-friendly to see. We're going to save our map. All right, save the project. We're going to close the project. There's the directory that I opened up. We're just going to navigate to the plugin. First thing we're going to do is create a new folder. We're going to call this one shaders. And in here we're going to create a text document. Well, I say that, but that's how we're going to create it. We'll change it. It's going to be my shaders, or my shader, and it's going to be a USF file. Yes, we want to change the file type. Now we're going to open it up with Notepad++. It's just one of the editors I have. It's a nice clean looking editor. So we're going to copy this whole record, bring it over to Notepad++, and just paste it in. Save that, and we are literally done. This project is nothing but a copy and paste project. All right, we're going to make some edits to the plugin file. Again, all we got to do, copy and paste. Bring it over here. Select all. That shortcut is Control-A. We can close both of those. Go to our source file. Go to foo. We're going to create a classes folder. Now it's time to find the files that we need to copy. As you can see here, we are in the install folder. We're going to drill down the engine, the plugins. There we go. We're going to copy those two files right there. Put those into our classes folder. We're going to go back to the engines folder. Back up and go into private. We're going to end up copying the bottom two there, the lens blueprints and the rendering. Copy both of those and put those into our private folder right there, like so. And now we're going to generate the files. This should hopefully make it recognize within the solution file when we open it. So now with that done, we're going to open up our solution. All right, now let's go ahead and drill down our plugin. We're going to go to plugins, to foo, to source, to foo, to classes. And we're going to start right on top and work our way down. Like I said before, this is nothing but a copy-paste project, so we're going to go ahead and select all. First, let's go ahead and copy this. You can see it's just step 13. Come over here, select all, which is Control A, and paste it in. Save it. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and go to the next file down, so the lens distortion blueprint. And I'll show you what I mean by Control A. So we go here, select all, which is Control A. Too quick, let me show you, right there. Go back to our tutorial, step 14, copy that whole cell. Just doing a Control C in case you're wondering, and we're going to paste this in. Save that. Just did the shortcut Control S if you're wondering. Now let's go down to the next one. Same thing. We're just going to select all. Go down to step 16, copy, paste. Close all those just to clean it up. We're going to make some changes to our dependencies, which is in the build file there. In the public, we're going to add a few. Right there, the render core, shader core, and the RHI. And then we're going to come down here to private, and we're actually going to go ahead and remove slate and slate core. Save, close, reopen it, and hopefully this will get it to recognize our dependency changes. Go ahead and build it just to double check. Oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and open it up. That was Control F5, if you're wondering. To build was Control Shift B. We're going to go to our plugins, go all the way down to our project plugins. And we're just going to see if it's enabled, which it isn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to select it. If you see the warning on the bottom, we got to restart the editor. Now we just need to test to see if our coding worked. So to do that, we're going to go to Level Blueprint. And we should be able to right click here and type foo. And notice nothing happened. What did we do wrong? All right, well, let's investigate. First, I want to go to the project settings, and we're going to set the default map to the world map that we saved. I don't know if you noticed, but it created a whole new map again every time we opened because we didn't set that. Okay, so you can see we don't have any content in the foo. So for some reason, our editor isn't recognizing our code. So let's go ahead and figure out why. All right, so what did the build tell us? The build tells us that there's errors, so let's go ahead and check those out. Okay, so as you can see, we're having trouble including our header file here. So memory kind of slipped my mind for a little bit here. So I cut out a little bit of section of this while I remembered what the issue was. And what it was is we forgot to do a couple of steps to make this think. So first we're going to right click here, go down to rescan solution, and let that do its work. And what that's going to do is rescan for all of our dependencies and our header files. Essentially, it's going to find all of the headers and link them all up correctly. Letting this go just to show you it can take a little bit of time for that scan to go. All right, so we do need to close this one more time, and we're just going to regenerate. And that's the two-step process that should fix that issue we had. So we'll reopen our solution. And you can see our warning is gone. It now recognizes the header, so we can go ahead and try to build this. So far, so good. But we still have some errors. So let's go ahead and find out what they are. And if you see right there on the top, those warnings is giving us an indication of what the problem is. It's in our declaration of our methods and our implementation. So what I'm going to do is pull these side to side, so you can kind of see what the error is. And let me know when you can see it. Pause it if you can't before I continue on. But right there. So you see how that second line, we still have that warning. It's because of that second line, a constant. On the header, it's the foo, which is the correct way we want it, because we made the change to our code, and therefore we need to get rid of there. So paste that right in. And then same thing on the next method here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the same exact error. Let's go ahead and get this side to side so you can see it better. Move that over. So let's copy this and paste it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and build it. Yay, build, perfect. Put that back. Let's go ahead and open up the editor. Another error. Well, I wonder what we did wrong here. Let's take a peek. And it kind of tells us right there where to look. So you can kind of see that directory there. Let me highlight it for you. Come on. There we go. That line right there. That's what we're looking for. This is where the error really is. So what we're going to do is go to that directory. See what I did wrong. Now, if you look at the tutorial, you'll see that I messed up and didn't put my private folder in here like I was supposed to. So I'll go ahead and put that in, drag that file right into there, and everything should work again. So we're going to close everything out. We're going to rescan, so the project will find that change. There we go. We'll build it just to be sure. Build successful. So let's go ahead and open the editor. Again, the shortcut for those is Control-Shift-B to build, Control-F5 to open without the debugger. Now when this opens, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that same test. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our blueprint, open up the level blueprint, and just see. If we type in foo, there it is. There's our methods and everything that we wanted. All right, so with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to create some objects. So starting with our actor blueprint. Again, the names of these are all right there. I just followed the tutorial straight through. So draw UV, distort, or whatever the heck it was. Dist to render target. And now we're going to need a render target. RT, what was it, 00? Yeah. And now the material. All right, so here we're going to open up the material and essentially assign it to the render target. So just open it up, keep it minimized like that, and drag your render target right in. We can open it up now, and we just want to pull the node off of the top node there and drag it into our base color. We can save that and close it. Now we can work on our blueprint. What we're going to do is go to our event graph and start by adding in the variables. We're going to need a K1, which is a float, so we'll go ahead and change that. Add another one, and it's going to be K2. That also is a float, so we can leave it, and then add the third, which is INC. We're going to compile this just so we can set the default values for each of these, which is just going to be set to 1 for each. All right, so now let's pull out some nodes that we're going to need, starting with the keystroke. So we're going to use W and S to toggle this up and down and make our changes. So there's the W. And let's type in the S, look up for it here. There it is. Let's start moving some things around. We're not going to need those two. And let's pull out the rest of the nodes we're going to use. And we're going to need one more. Now let's make room. There's going to be two different sections, so top and bottom. But as a quick preview, if you wanted to pause, these are the ones you're going to need. We can set all of the values right now as well. We're going to make sure to assign the render targets to these nodes. This one here we leave alone. And over here we got to set 1, 1, and 1. Right here again we got to select the render target. And that should be fine. All right, so now let's go ahead and make it. Let's put it all together and make it work the way we want. So we'll start with the keys. All right, so here, if you hold the Alt key and drag out, it's set. If you hold Control, it's a get. And that's all I'm doing right there. So if you're wondering why I'm able to do that without any extra steps, that was the shortcuts. There's the W all set. Essentially, we're going to add them together. Control W to copy a node. I'm just going to control these out for the gets. Make more room here. We're going to do a multiply. Copy that. And we're going to add these two together. There we go. That looks pretty. All right, so down here, what we're going to do is on the event, we're going to clear our render target, and then we're going to redraw it. And we're going to redraw it based off of those variables. So we're going to pull two gets out, K1, K2, and pull it over to our camera model. And we can just spend a minute to get it looking somewhat organized, and we're done. Easy. Compile it. Close everything out. And now what we can do is drag our blueprint into the world. And then we gotta make sure that we can modify it from our player character. So come in here to the details panel. With it selected, of course, go to auto receive input, set it to player 0. And then the next thing we have to do is, well, put our render target out there. So what we'll do is we'll make a copy of the floor with Control W. Drag it up. We're going to end up rotating it 90 degrees. And kind of throw it over there into place. Lift it up a little bit so you can see it. And then we just got to drag our material onto it. So like that. And let's just compile, save. And we should be able to run this. Let me make it full screen. And you kind of see already we have some graphics going on, and as I mess with the buttons W and S, it's being distorted as it's supposed to. So I hope this helps everybody, and best of luck.